Hello, today is December the 2nd, Tuesday. My name is Krista Monique, your host. Welcome to Mo Loves to Talk podcast. And today is Taco Tuesday. Yes, are y'all ready for those tacos? Shrimp tacos, beef tacos, all kind of tacos today. So make sure you go down to Naming Faces and get some of those Tito tacos today. Tito's and tacos at Naming Faces and tell them Brook and Crane Media Group LLC sent you. Today we got a great show. We keeping on with the theme with dating in 2025. Y'all, it's so many people single in cuddle weather. So we want to make sure that we get y'all equipped so you can have you a boo for those Christmas pictures and for you to take home for the holidays, okay? So we want to get you successful and give you some dating tips that will be helpful when you're getting ready to choose your partner or your mate for Christmas or for the holidays, or if you want to have a special occasion and you need you someone on your side. So today we want to always say a quote of the day. So because we're talking about love and dating, here are some quotes about dating and love. On self-love and authenticity. To love oneself is the beginning of lifelong romance. This is from Oscar Wilde. Dating is about finding out who you are and who others are. If you show up as a masquerade outfit, neither is going to happen. This is from Henry Cloud. I'm not really single. I am dating myself. This is for a quote from someone unknown. Kind of sounds like me. On finding love and connection, every love story is beautiful, but ours is my favorite. In your eyes, I found my home. Isn't that so sweet? Sometimes the heart sees what is invisible to the eye. This is by H. Jackson Brown Jr. And the last one is if I know what love is, it is because of you. Es mi amor. Yo quiero es mi amor. So, yes, we want love. We want to be able to sustain love. We want to be consistent with love, but we also want to find the right person, right? So, these are some quotes of the day. We get ready to get into the event section, and I like to call this news you can use. Well, some of the events that's going on in Jackson, Mississippi, and the surrounding areas, as well as here in Georgia, we starting off with New Year's Eve party. Now I know y'all say, Mo, it's not already, you just got December. But guess what? It's already New Year's Eve parties going on. They already been playing even last year. So here in Georgia, Esco Marietta is having their Harlem Nights New Year's Eve. So that should be fun. It's on that Wednesday, December the 31st. So you can go ahead and get your sections and your tables. First Friday, December the 5th, at Johnny T's Bistro in Jackson, Mississippi, Clinton Babers will be performing. It's that championship weekend kickoff. Wine Dine Wednesday is on Social 21 Bistro in Jackson, Mississippi. We have live performance by Jaron Durr, and he's going to be playing the saxophone. And as you know, I'm a big music connoisseur, so that should be fun. Taking your friends out and enjoy a good night out at 21 Bistro. Oh my God, y'all! If y'all love 85 South, they're coming to December the 12th to Atlanta, Georgia, their hometown. They will be here. And if you want to get your tickets to see DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, and Carlos Miller, better known as 85 South, make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be fun. 85 South Show, they're going to show out and show out all the time because this is the hometown, Georgia. I do want to mention the We Come from Royalty, the concert and fashion show, which happened last week. It was so fun last Wednesday. They had artists, local artists to perform, and they had a great fashion show. Shout out to Twy. He did an awesome job. Twy Hunter, you did a great job. Crown Me Royal, the clothing brand, they showcased a lot of their new fashion as well as some of the ones that they already had, and it was a beautiful job. The music was great. Everything was so awesome. Everything was so beautiful, and I'm so glad I got to attend. I had a great time seeing all the fashion. If y'all know me, I love fashion. I love going to fashion shows, and it's been a minute since I've gone to a real fashion show in my hometown of Mississippi. So kudos to Twy and his team, and y'all did a great job. The lighting was great. A lot of videographers, photographers taking the shots. So if you want to go to Twy Hunter's page on Crown Me Royal clothing brand, you can see the shots from there too. And I did take some pictures that's on my page of Brook and Crane Media Group LLC. So if you want to see some behind the scenes videos and pictures, you can go there too. And so thank you for making sure that we had a great time, Twy. Tito's Taco Tuesday again is at Naming Faces, so make sure you check that out. On Social Fridays, they have Bass Rhythms Grooves, and that is this Friday, December the 5th. So check that out, and that's at 20 Social 21 Bistro in Jackson, Mississippi. This month is my mom's birthday, so happy early birthday. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing the podcast during that week that is her birthday. So happy early birthday to my mom. I love you. I hope you have a great month. She loves Christmas and she loves being able to celebrate with her family. So I hope you have a great birthday, and I hope rest of the holiday season. We love you and we appreciate you. I cannot say enough about how much you were instrumental in my life and being successful, getting my education, making sure that I always stay classy and taking the high road like Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. So we make sure that in my family, when they go low, we go high, and that's what we do. So she always used to tell me that don't worry about what other people think, just concentrate on doing what you know what you're supposed to do, and don't be a follower, always be a leader. And so she taught that in me, and so I'm always gonna take that to wherever I go, whatever place I am in, I'm always gonna be a leader, not a follower. So thank you so much for instilling me. And my fashion comes from my mom too. Growing up, I saw her dressing up every day to go to work, and just going to different family functions or the church or whatever. And so I always wanted to emulate her. And so when I got older, I said I'm definitely going to dress just like her. And she what she don't know is I used to take some of her clothes when she went to work. But that's neither here nor there, because she always had the really nice clothes. But yes, so happy birthday to my mom. I love you. And to all the birthdays this month, there's going to be a lot of birthdays. Hopefully, I'll be able to give a shout out to everyone. But Portia, happy birthday to you. I know they're gonna be celebrating her birthday at Name Your Faces this Wednesday. So happy birthday, and hope you have a great birthday as well. The podcast festival, we are open for vendors and food trucks. So if you want to be part of the podcast festival, vendors or food trucks, you definitely can reach out to me. And if you would like to put your bid in for photography or for videography work, or behind the scene creators, please, please, please reach out to me at Brooke and Crane. That's Brooke and Crane, Crane, at gmail.com. Make sure you check us out. In podcast festival is going to be 2026 in March, always going to be in March. And if you know, last this year we had a really great successful event. DJ Walt is going to come back and he's going to be blessing us on the ones and twos. So if you know how DJ Walt gets down, he's going to have us dancing on our feet. DJ and also, we having a live cooking demo by Chef ZT. So of course, he definitely is going to be in the building, giving you tasting to our live audience. So you have to be there to check it out. And we got a lot of other surprises. We got a lot of vendors that are coming back. And so just check out our Pod Festival page. It's also on Facebook and on Instagram is at Podfest underscore JXN. So please follow our pages for all the updates. And like I said, if you want to be part of our festival, please reach out to us now so we can go ahead and put you on our vendors list because we don't want you to miss out on such a fun occasion. And again, the exposure for all of our Mississippi and local talent. We're going to add some really great features, hoping to get some musical artists into it as well. We have a red carpet host, Anissa Hampton, that has agreed to join us. She's a singer, so I'm looking forward to having her to do the interviews on the red carpet this year and so much more. I'm looking to enjoy it so much more too because, with you being hosting and doing all the directing and all that behind the scenes of the festival is so much more that you do miss. But this year, I'm going to take part of it and enjoy it as well because I love being able to take different, perspectives and different behind the scene pictures as well with my supporters. And I thank so much of y'all for doing the advertising and and actually word of mouth letting everybody know in 3 months that we were getting ready to do the podcast festival. So thank y'all so much for supporting me and always being such a great inspiration for me to keep going and to bring more of that to Mississippi and other surrounding cities. So thank y'all again, and we're getting ready to get into dating in 2025. So you guys say, Mo, I don't know where I can go and find a date in 2025. I'm single and so many people say go to the gym. So many people say just go sit at a bar. Some people say, hey, just, go to an event and network with people that have the same common interests of you. But it's not always that easy because when you do go to those people and you do become very vulnerable and you do come and introduce yourself, then what? Right? So you introduce yourself and you say, hi, my name is Crystal Monique, or hi, my name is Monique. How are you doing? And then it's crickets, right? And then you waiting for that person to ask for your number, or you waiting for that person, to follow up with the question of, are you single? Are you dating? Would you like to go out and get a drink, or would you like to go get, go bowling, or what are some of your interests? You don't know what is the next step. So I wanted to give people hope and inspiration, right? Because again, this is cuddle weather, cuddle season. And not only that, so many people these days are lonely, and not lonely for desperate reasons, but lonely because they do want a spouse, or they do want a partner, or they do want people who they want to share the rest of their life with. So not lonely, I hate when people say lonely as desperate. No, lonely can be you really do want to share your heart and your soul and your loyalty and everything with someone. So here are some of the statistics that might a little bit scare you, because it kind of scared me when I found out how many women versus how many men were single in the United States, you know? So how many do y'all think are single? Yeah, so here it goes. So while exact numbers fluctuate, recent data indicates that the number of single women in the United States is over 43 million, with some sources estimating that single women, unmarried or separated, make up a record of 52% of all US women. So that is a large amount, you guys. 43, over 43 million women are single. This includes those that have never been married, are divorced, or widowed. So that also includes people who have been married, they are divorced, and they are widowed. The number of single women has been steadily increasing due to a combination of factors, including declining marriage rates and shifting cultural norms. So the proportion of women, so a record 52% of all women in the United States were unmarried or separated as of 2021. So that is alarming, you guys. So the trends, the number of single women has increased, not decreased, but increased significantly, with one source reporting a 55% increase since 2000. So that was 25 years ago, you guys, that it has increased over 50%. Right. So that is alarming that now we're having so many women. And even with the women who are being single, now you having single women who have kids that are single, that could have somebody that's there to support them. The definition of single. So of course, everybody say, okay, we know more, we know what single is. Okay, well, we finna say, in the context, single includes those who have never been married, that are divorced, and are widowed. So if you fit in all those three categories or one of those categories, that means you are single. Contributing factors: declining marriage rates, changing social attitudes, and increased financial independence among women are cited as reasons for the rise in single women. So now we talked about the statistics of single women. Now let's talk about single men. The number of single men in the United States is not a single figure, but varies significantly by age group. Around 63% of men ages 18 to 29 are single. That sounds about common, right? Six, seven. While this number drops to approximately 25% for men between 30 to 49. I can see that. And in total, we have over 127 million adults in the US are single. So right now we're looking at the younger men from 18 to 29, they're about 63% single. You got the middle-aged men, which are 30 to 49, are the percentage of single are 25%, which is pretty low. But older men, 50 and above, they're about 28% of men. And then 65 and older, they're at 25%. So pretty much the ones that are 18 to 29, they're at 63%. So that's about right, because most of them are still in college or still trying to find themselves. But for the ones who are 30, and what I try to tell people, I know, that sometimes that you want to, find someone and you want to think that that person is going to be the one that you're going to marry, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the one that you're going to marry. Sometimes you do have to kiss a little frog sometimes in order to get to the right person that you want to make a commitment with. And sometimes you actually have to, find out what type of person they really are. And like for me, I think that the first 6 months is really someone's representative, right? They're going to be on their best behavior, just like a job. They're going to be on their best behavior first 90 days, of course. And then for the first 6 months, they're going to be great. They're going to show you all the things that you think that you want to hear. They're going to tell you everything that you want to hear. They're going to say all the right things, do all the right things until about that 6 month, right? And it can go both ways. It can go for men and women. And for that 6 month, that's where it goes south. And that's where you see people's behavior and their consistency kind of decrease, right? And when their behavior decrease, that's where the true colors come in. So then we go into what are some of the reasons, okay, that people are single? Now, you asked, well, Mo, why are you single? Well, I haven't always been single, but I recently became single, and it was because I chose me over choosing not to be with someone who chose not to be with me. So, 6, 7, right? So, um, a personal choice to prioritize autonomy, career, and other goals, or because they are not actively looking for a relationship. And that's another reason why, for me, I'm very career oriented, but I can balance work, family life, or personal life. I know how to balance that. Some people cannot balance that. Some men cannot balance both. They feel as if you're a provider, and I'm dating you, I'm buying you stuff, I'm making sure you're good, then that should be good enough. Okay, well, you got to know someone and you got to know what they want in order to know that that is not good enough. And just being a good provider or just giving money is one of the things that help bring and keep you locked in, right? So other factors include fear of getting hurt. And that's a real thing of getting hurt. But just like you go and ride a bike, you're may possibility that you may get hurt. Just like you possible that when you go in and you go and ride a motorcycle, you may get hurt, but that doesn't stop you from actually going to purchasing a motorcycle or a bike and getting on it. It doesn't stop you. So it's the same mentality in if you trick your brain that if I get on this relationship or if I deal with this particular person and that person hurt me, I can get up and I can heal and I can move on. It may take me a moment to heal. It may take me a moment to get over it, but I can get over it. I can get over it. I can definitely get over it. If that is something that is, if that person is worth it, you can get over it. Okay. So, having different priorities, and that is really important. Being compatible and being and having the same priorities, that is really important when you're trying to be date someone. If y'all don't have the same priorities, one want to party and one person wants to, work and have something and save something and have something in life, and one person just always want to go party. Every time that they get some money, they want to go party, go take trips, go do everything. They don't ever want to, save or even just try to have something or invest in something. That's a red flag, at least for me. Um, or simply not having finding a compatible partner yet. Social and economic changes have also made it easier and more accepted for people to remain single. So, some personal and priorities, some personal choice and priorities. So, many people value the freedom to make their own choices, travel, and spend time as they wish, right? Career and personal goals. Some individuals focus on their career and education or other personal goals instead of a relationship. So, we just talked about that, right? Some people are big on, hey, well, I went to school, I got my bachelor's. Now I'm finna go get my master's. Now I'm finna go get my doctorate, PhD, all of this. And I don't have time for to date anybody. And that's why they're single. And it's okay. And that's their business, right? Some people focus on friends and family. Some people say, hey, I just rather just be around my family and friends. I don't really need to be booed up under anybody because it's just not conducive to, my livelihood right now. So some people may prefer to spend more time with family and friends, and that's okay too. Some people have a lack of interest. A significant number of people are simply not interested in being in a relationship at a particular time. So sometimes you've been in a relationship for a long period of time, let's just say 5 years, and then you decide, oh, I just don't want to be in a relationship. I just want to take a break. And that's okay because it's more important for you to take that break than for you to go into another relationship or date someone and then it ends up really badly because you technically didn't have time to heal, or you technically didn't have time to get over that person, and you move right into someone else, right? So sometimes it's circumstantial or practical factors. So not finding a compatible partner, that's important. Many people are single because they haven't met that someone that are truly compatible with or have different priorities. And we just talked about that. A lot of times when I go out, I meet someone, and a lot of times they may be either younger than me, or sometimes they have their mentality is a little bit more childish and less mature than me. And sometimes they'll say, well, you're so serious. You're so serious. And I'm like, okay, but you're so childish. So 6, 7. um, so I'm not gonna change, and I don't need you to change. I just need to change the person, right? So therefore, one thing that the love coach Atlanta taught me in the last series when we did the podcast, not last week, but the week before, you can go back and hear that he mentioned that you never want to change the partner, the spouse, or the person that you want to be with. Change that person. So meaning change the man, change don't change the man, change the man. Don't try to change how he is, how he moves, how he, spends time with you. If he spends money on you, whether or not he wants to spend time with you, whether or not he wants to take you on trips, whether or not he wants to spend time with your family, whether or not he wants to, introduce you to all his family and friends, or whether or not he wants to introduce you to his kid. None of that. Don't try to change that. You change the man who's right for you. Okay? If you don't want to be with a man who have kids, stick to that. If you don't want to be with a man who has baby mama drama, stick to that. If you don't want to be with a woman who has multiple kids, stick to that. If you don't want a woman who don't know how to dress and don't know how to be a lady, stick to that. If you don't want someone that's educated and don't believe in education and don't believe in inspiring others to have an education, then stick to that. Those are priorities that are really important to you. You cannot go back on that. You cannot get somebody to change because you want them to change. That's not the way that it works. um a health or disability issues. There are some people that have mental illnesses. There are people who have diabetes, or people who have high blood pressure, or people who have um, um, one leg, or just all kind of disabilities, or just maybe just don't have the ability health wise. Have maybe have cancer. Choose the person that you know that you can also, in later on in life, if that does happen, or if you do find out that that person has it, it won't matter because you do care and love that person no matter what. Health problems can be a reason for singlehood. I know for some people, when they do have a disability, they feel like they don't want to be loved, or they can't be loved in the right way. Don't feel that way, because there's always somebody out there, the right person out there for you, that will love you no matter what. No matter if you have a disability, no matter if you have diabetes, no matter if you have a mental illness, no matter what, as long as you're a good person and you have a good heart and are loyal and you're faithful, that person is out there for you. And I know it is. Financial situation. Financial constraints can make it difficult for some to be in a relationship. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. But I do want to touch a little bit about that, about financial constraints. Emotional and psychological factors, fear of getting hurt. So, your past experiences can lead to a fear of getting hurt in a future relationship. So, you have had some people that have had trauma in their past relationships, whether it be with domestic violence, or someone cheating on them, or just financial restraints with other people stealing from them in relationships. And you find it hard to be able to trust or be with someone in another relationship. But what I can say is that everyone is different. God made our DNA different. Nobody is the same. You can take a lesson and make it a blessing to in every situation. So you can make a test into a testimony. So even though you may have gone through the trenches with someone, you can also make someone else a great wife, a great girlfriend, a great spouse, a great partner, and a great wifey, whatever your terminology, or partner. You can make that person a really great um person that you want to be with. And don't worry about what happened in the past, because that person that didn't treat you right, or that person who didn't find the beauty in your relationship, and didn't they abused the privilege of being even in your space, right? They are not warranted of that. So don't take that into the next relationship or the next dating potential person that you want to date on a committed side. Don't make someone else be punished for something that someone else did. Okay, treat people for what they did for you and how they're treating you. And then that comes to even when you're just getting to know them as a friend. Treat them how you want to be treated. um Distrust of others, that I think I was just talking about, that issues with trust can make it difficult to form new relationships. And I know it's hard. I know you say, Mo, hey, it's easier said than done. It is. But that's the reason why you pray about it. You ask God to send you signs, and you also listen. Sometimes, you talk, and you don't listen to someone. A lot of times you can actually hear that they're not a good person for you. They're telling you, the signs are there, and you're just not listening. Um, and if you just listen sometimes and just hear, they telling you exactly who they are. They're showing you exactly who they are. So sometimes you gotta listen to the fact that if they show you and they tell you who they are, believe them. If they tell you they never want to get married, believe them. If they tell you they never want to do right by you and they always want to have multiple people, believe them. If they tell you they don't want kids, believe them. Like, people will tell you exactly what they want if you choose to listen. But if you choose not to listen, then sometimes you got to take accountability if that's all your fault. Majority of the time. Um, Increase acceptance of singlehood. So there is less social pressure to be in a relationship, and be single is more sociably accepted than in the past. I know I've seen a lot of dating apps on social media. I see a lot of people who are, taking solo trips to Bali and to Italy and to all those places, and they're really celebrating being single. And that's wonderful for those ones who are wanting to be single. But we're talking about for the ones who want to date in 2025 going into 2026. We want to help you be able to come into a space of positivity, and to inspire you that there is somebody out there for you, and that not all the time that you have to be closed minded to love and to be open. You always have to be open to, someone who may or may not possibly look like what you dated in the past. Sometimes, if you dated tall people or short people, maybe that may not be the person you want to date anymore. If you dated, per se, ballers, or or maybe possibly rappers or artists, maybe that may not be the person. You may want to try a doctor or a lawyer or realtor. Sometimes you can give somebody else a chance that you possibly have never thought about. It may be someone possible in your immediate circle that you never thought of that you want to give a chance, and you never even tried to even talk to them. So never be afraid to ask if that person is available to go on a date, because you never know if they may say yes. They may say yes. Just try it. Mo wants you to know that you can say and you can ask someone if they're single. Ask them, are they single? And if they say yes, say, would you be interested in going on a date and plan the date? Don't ask them where they want to go. Plan a nice date in a decent area, and make sure that they're safe, and pay for the date. If you ask for the date, pay for the date. That's how I feel. If you ask for the date, you got to pay for the date. Okay, that's number one rule, especially for the first date. If you ask for the date, you got to pay for the date. Um, all right, and so here are some things that I personally want to say with some dating tips in 2025. So, number one, and I learned this from the love coach, y'all. Always FaceTime or Zoom or see the person before going out on a date. That is really important. Make sure that you FaceTime and or see that person before you go out on a date, so you know what that person looks like. Don't just ask for a picture. Make sure you actually see them. Women and ladies should always on the first date drive separately to the date, or have somebody to chaperone or be there, or do a group date. That's even better. Women should have your own money to pay in case something goes wrong with his card or your partner's card or their wallet. There should be at least three things you should have in common with this person. Okay. So it doesn't matter what three things, but it should be three things that you know for sure you have in common before you agree to go on this date. If y'all don't have at least three things on common, I don't really think you should be going on a date. Setting the right expectations. You need to know if this is just a date, or will it be something more after the date ends? So when the date ends and y'all wrapping up, and somebody's paying, and she's paying, whoever asks, um, and you need to be clear before you leave the restaurant or leave the date, what is to be expected. Okay. Sleeping with the person on the first date. Now, I say no. Some people have been married with after they slept with somebody on the first date for 20, 30 years, and that worked. Now I say, because that was back in the day and it was different environments and everything. But nowadays I don't suggest that. When is it good time to meet the kids? I think it is a good time to meet the kids. Me personally, now this is just me personally, because I've dated men with kids. I think it's only time to meet the kids when you feel that you have your heart is in it, and you really want, or you see yourself with that person on a in that person and that person only. I don't think it's good to confuse, especially young girls. I don't think it's good to confuse them. So it's really important. Like for me, my nieces, they're not really going to see me with a lot of men. They're not. Um, and they haven't, because I don't want them to be confused as that is okay to be seen with multiple people. So no. So I wouldn't suggest that if it has not been at least a year, maybe about 8 months to a year, yeah, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, it's too soon. Especially if they're young kids, don't do it. Um, when is a good time to meet the parents in the family? Me, not never until it's time for you to put a ring on it, okay? Cause okay, my family don't play. They're like they with the questions and all that. So no, unless you about to put a ring on it, yeah, you're not about to meet my family. That's a no. My personal belief is that if you do not have something attainable, a job, a career, a house, apartment, a car, that you should not be reaching out to date anyone until you're stable. So for me, and all people out there, if you're not stable and you're not being able to put food on the table for yourself, you're not able to have a car going back and forth to your job yourself, and you don't have a job and you don't have anything going for yourself, don't reach out to nobody. I'm just sorry. Like, that's called scamming 102. Okay. We ain't trying to do that in 2025. Like, we see that coming. Don't do it. Like, you're not gonna sleep on our couch and then end up moving in 30 days later talking about you actually live here. No, no, no. Well, you ain't gonna move one bag in, then two bags in, then three bags in, and then now you on the lease. No, that ain't finna happen. So so you need to make sure you got a job, you have a car, you have your own. Nobody's saying you gotta live in a mansion. Nobody's saying you gotta drive a Bugatti, and nobody is saying you got to be the CEO of a company. But we do need you to have a job, and we need you to have a ride, and we need you to have somewhere to lay your head every night. Okay? And don't ask nobody to go to no hotel. That is so unprofessional. That is so not classy. And that is not what we doing in 2025. Don't ask no female to go into no nasty hotel that they ain't clean them sheets and I don't know when. And you trying to get something going. Don't do it. Wait until you have your own place and you can invite them for dinner and cook for them. And you have a great time. But don't try to do all of that if you can't even. You can put that same money that you putting into a hotel or an Airbnb, you can put that money into putting down a down payment on your apartment or your house or your car. So thank me later. Okay, so I personally feel that a personal should be upfront with intentions when they DM you, call, and text. So when they're DMing you, when they're calling you, and they're talking to you, you need to be very upfront with what your intentions are. If you are just wanting a booty call, if you just wanting to get to somebody to be friends, or if you just want to be in somebody's life as a business partner or whatever, please let them know upfront. Don't waste their time, and do not make someone think that you are wanting to be with them and you clearly don't have the right expectations and intentions for them. So be intentional when you DM somebody. Okay, this I know this is 2025, and I know nowadays people don't just go up to people, and I hate when people do that. I hate when people see me out or see someone out and then you slide in their DM 5 days later. Like, then you just see me out. Like, um, let's see. Y'all, I got a whole list. Um, if a person doesn't want to compromise, they don't want to be with you for the right reasons. So if you're saying to them, hey, I do want to go out, plan the date, and then every time you call them you say, hey, well, let's go to this comedy show, or hey, let's go to this concert, and they always say, well, you know what, I have something to do. They don't want to be with you. Just stop asking, just move on. Move on, move on, move on. They don't want to be with you. Okay. If a person never wants to be seen in public or take you out on a date, they don't plan a future with you. So if you have to continue to ask them to take you out and be somewhere with you in public, not I'm not talking about posting you out on social media because I don't agree with it. But just being out and about, just taking you out on a date, a special date, getting to know you. If they don't want to do that and all they want to do is Netflix and chill at the house, mm-mm. No. If a person never shows you that they want to spend time with you, then they don't have good intentions. If every time you call them, they busy, if they don't have time to talk, they always say they want to just text, and they can only text only certain times of the day. um if they never asking you or checking on you, if they never ever trying to make plans with you to see you, you might as well say adios amigo, adios, because they don't want to be with you. Okay. And if you are around that person and the only time they have for you is to be intimate, you're just a booty call. So let's just be clear. If the only time you spending with that person in 2025 is when it's time for the turn off the lights and light a candle, baby, you just a booty call. So it's time to move on and let's go and find you a date, a real date, somebody who real has real intentions for you. If the person who claims to have interest in you and never supports your business, your work, or when it benefits them, move on. That's a red flag. I hope that these were some dating tips that helped you in 2025 to be able to find the right person. And I want you to come back at in inbox me or email me at brookeandcrane@gmail.com and tell me if you had a successful date or if you starting to date after this show because you something that you saw actually helped you in 2025 on this show. I hope that that everyone out here finds the love of their life. I hope that everyone out here continues to date, even if one date doesn't go right. Date and date and date until you find the right person. Sometimes it's hard because again, someone may or may not find have the same interests or the same priorities, or maybe, and I don't want people to get into like, oh, well, you don't make as much money as they do, or they don't make, they don't come from the same background that you do, or they don't have as much education as you do. But sometimes you can have a different type of education and you can still have things in common that can be so beneficial that you can actually learn from each other, right? You can be equally yoked without having both of y'all having a background coming from the same background and also having the same degrees. You don't have to have that in common. What you do have to have in common is a open-minded, open heart, being loyal, being truthful, communicating, and to be actually to able to trust someone. Um, those are things that, of course, you're going to need, and key things that you're going to need to be able to date in 2025. Thank you so much, my mom. Again, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, early birthday to my best friend, my goddaughter, Makaya. Happy early birthday. And she said, so true, great tips. Thank you, Miosha. And thank you also to everyone who shares this podcast after it airs. It also will be on YouTube, and subscribe to us on YouTube on Mo Loves to Talk, and that's TO Talk podcast. And then we have the short clips on Mo Loves to Talk, the number two talk podcast. So you can subscribe to both of them to catch up on the latest updates on the podcast as well as the behind the scene videos when I go to different events. So we have two channels for two different reasons, but you can always keep me updated and keep us updated on your dating on brookandcrane@gmail.com. And I have been so happy to be able to be part of this dating series. I'm hoping that I can get some more people to join that single that want to come on and share their experiences in this dating love world that we have right now. So many people right now, like I said, are going through loneliness. They going through difficult times. They, this time of year through the holidays, so many people have lost people, even through COVID, even through after that. And it's always good to have someone. And so I just hope that in 2025 you can find love, and then going into 2026 you can have New Year's Eve and you can have one wish, and that is to be loved. So we're going to sign off, and I want to also say thank you to all my followers and to my supporters. This show was brought to you by the American Slang Collection. That is www.americanslangcollection.com. Also, it's Southside Beauty and Barbershop and Brook and Crane Media Group LLC and Southern Comfort Brass Band. Come move something. And make sure you check out Phoenix Bar and Grill. That's the new bar and grill off of I-55 frontage in Jackson, Mississippi. Tonight they have something going on, of course, on Tuesdays, on Wednesday night and Thursday night, and Fridays they always have something going on for happy hour. And of course, we got the kickoff to a really great event with JSU, let's go. Y'all done a great job to the football team and to Coach Taylor. Congratulations so much on the SWAC championship. Yes, 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 yes. So, till next time, this has been Mo Loves to Talk podcast. And I thank y'all so much for joining us. And we'll see you next time. Drop my theme song.